wonderful. I thought I would just say, how I reach other people and spread the word on colon cancer. I never thought that I could speak in front of others. I'm always looking at my paper because I'm nervous. But I just thought, if I speak from my heart, that's how I do the best. But I just felt a desire to help people. And so I wrote down my story one night. I did a lot of versions. I thought, okay, from diagnosis, from the beginning to when I was anemic to my whole diagnosis and surgery. So the first time I talked was for Relay for Life. I had thyroid cancer 15 years ago, so I was always involved with Relay. So I said, do you guys want me to talk? And he said, sure. So that's a way to get out there if you need to find, if you want to find a local place where you can speak first. And then from there was my friend at my son's basketball game said, are you going to Kicking Cancer? And I said, what is that? And she said, it's a great fundraiser. So I looked it up, and to get tickets, it gave you a contact number. So I thought, I'm going to call and just say, do they have a speaker? Do they need one? They were so excited. They'd never had a speaker. So I want to kind of convey how easy it is to get our word across. Here, they'd never had a speaker or a patient come. They were so thrilled, and I spoke in front of 600 people.
Oh my gosh.
And told my story, and they were so great. And I thought, what a great fundraiser too, to actually have a patient to put a face to cancer. Then from that, I was invited to a motorcycle bicycle run, which I'm like a pink girly girl, and here I got a black cancer silk shirt. They gave me some kind of do-rag, and so then I changed my speech from there to a little tougher, said a couple swear words when I think about cancer, and just kind of adjust your speech to the audience. They were the sweetest guys, the nicest guys, and it just kind of adjusted when we were talking about adjusting your speech to the audience, so I definitely did for that. And then there was something called, Santa Fe Adventist. My husband works for them, and they were doing kind of a proclamation in March for colon cancer. And my husband happened to mention it, and he's a scientist for them. And I said, are you kidding me? You didn't tell me about this? I should be speaking at it. They need to have a patient. So I bypassed him, and I went right to the company. I said, who's in charge of this talk? Because I had just had chemo that day, so the very next day, I was going to have my pump on. So I thought, okay, I need the scientists to save me. I have the BRAF mutation, which is terrible. And I thought, here I'm a patient and on the 5FU pump. And sure enough, they didn't even have a patient. So again, just these little things, then I was able to, the scientists really enjoyed having a patient to see for what kind of research they're doing to make a connection. And Randy and I met through these different, there were other talks in between too, and Randy and I had met. And then I said to him, Randy, how did you had the Colon Cancer Alliance hat on at the Santa Fe one? And he's like, I didn't know how to volunteer. So he said, go on the Colon Cancer Alliance website, and through there, I eventually made the connection. And then Randy and I both spoke at Boston Scientific, and I think they might be speaking, there's now there's a collaboration. So Boston Scientific was great. They do the endoscopy and colonoscopy, the equipment. And then I've spoken at fundraisers too, and then for the other things, you speak more in a medical term, and I'm a nurse, but the other fundraisers for cancer research, then I tell the personal side of it, how it affects my family, my diagnosis, which is stage 4, and my losses and my prognosis. I am just on palliative therapy, so I'm, right now, searching for a cure. Then there's been some fun things too when you volunteer, is my oncologist had me speak with him on Boston has like an ESPN called Nesson, and then also a radio station, WEI. And then from there, I actually got to throw out the first pitch in August for the Sunday night Red Sox-Yankees game. Oh boys, and I was their hero that night. So they got to go on the field and do, high-five the dugout. So that was an exciting thing. So it would never have happened if I hadn't volunteered. So it was, great. And I think that I've helped more people as a nurse for 21 years before my diagnosis, and I think I've helped more people. I felt more fulfilled in the last 2 years of my diagnosis, spreading the word and, really talking about how it impacts myself and my family. And so, I do this, I volunteer and teach people because I love it, and it makes me feel productive, and it makes me feel like I'm still being a nurse, but I'm looking for a cure for myself. I'm on active treatment right now, did chemo last week, actually, Monday actually. And so I'm fighting for myself, my husband, my 4 sons, and all of us here. You know, if I didn't have this organization, all of you, I don't know how I would be able to cope with this. So I take on all of your strengths to help me.